Sounds good.
Okay, thanks for joining. And I know a lot of people are going to be watching this later. So I just want to say this is something that Dana and Debbie and myself have been hearing people talk about, working at home right now and then trying to keep kids on task for school and then being stressed, right? And I can just say too, people don't think about it, but kids often get stressed, and it could be teens, it could be younger kids, and this is a different situation that they haven't been in. You haven't been in it to try to tell them, and kids also pick up on parent stress, and then they can't really put into words why they feel stressed, but it's a different environment, and they need to have help coping with that too. So I want to touch on those different areas and give some support and different ideas. Here's the thing. I have not worked at home while schooling kids during this kind of lockdown epidemic type thing, but I have worked at home while having kids at school. Um, and I've done it during the summer. And my kids were, let's see, they were 8, 10, and 13. And then I did it, when they were a little bit younger, and then I did it when they were older too. And I had a son who homeschooled, and we had to figure this out. So I've had different stages: high school, elementary school, middle school. So I kind of feel like even though I'm not in your situation right now, I still have some experience where I can kind of relate that you have to have some activities for younger kids while you get work done, and then how to get them to do school and everybody keep your sanity. Okay, so that's why I kind of just put this together and thought this will help a lot of people now. So let me just start and hop on to the presentation that I have. Okay, that I prepared. Let's see if I can just move this over here and then start slideshow from the beginning. There we go. Okay, so I didn't know what to title this, but productivity in the home during COVID-19. That's what I went with. Okay. All right, so now where's my mouse? There we go. So my agenda for tonight is just to, and I might have to move this little camera thing around, but talk about time blocking, right? A reasonable way to judge what your kids' energy is and properly schedule that in a time that is going to be compatible with your work needs, all right? I also want to talk about brain power and discuss like how to boost that power of thinking and focus and memory, energy, and then fun time. I know this sounds silly, but you do have to schedule some fun because kids just can't go on their own the whole day, and it kind of gives you a break so that you stay back on task again. And then some well-being, just overall helping with sleep and stress and mental health and that kind of stuff, and just a foundation to help you cope. Okay. All right, so let's go into the next one. Okay, so yes, we have to figure out what we have to do, the must-do list, then fun, and then the task that we need to finish towards the end of the day, okay? So find out what you need to do, right? And then think of what your kids need to do that don't require any assistance from you, that they will keep quiet the most, and schedule that during the time for you that you're going to be most productive, okay? Then think of their age. So for little kids, what do they love to do best? This is a time that you want them to be able to do something while you're working that is safe, but will occupy them for a length of time. Maybe even a movie, okay? So I know that they can't do stuff very long, but maybe an hour, hour and a half, maybe 2 hours. I don't know about that, but it just depends on the kid and the age, right? And even if you had them by the TV, but you had a couple of things that you can just run in and put it out and run in and put it out, but think of the things that they're gonna like to do the best, and don't let them do it at any other time right now, because you want them to be excited for being able to do it during this time where you work the best. and something that they can come back to. Maybe they don't even finish it the first day. They come back to it again, okay? And then older kids, you need to think of the subject that they're most proficient in, that they don't need a lot of help, that they can get their work done. And that's what you want them to work on during this time. Nothing else that's going to require your help, okay? Now, after that hour and a half or so, stop and schedule some fun, okay? This is not the norm, but we're not in that situation right now, right? After a kid has let you work and you've got the most important things out of the way, spend some time together. Like, congratulate yourself that you got the work done, and tell them they were so good, that you appreciate them doing that, spending that time alone. And just really tell them, I appreciate you letting mommy get work. That made me so happy. You know, little kids can even sense that, and that they're doing a job for you. So, you know, pat them on the back for that. Then have lunch, do, you know, an activity or two outside, right? Like, get that energy out. You're trying to do some activities that will expel some energy, because you're going to have to do some more work, right? So right now, just take, this will be the longest break that you take. So take that break and get them to expel some energy and play some games that you're going to, you know, maybe even bike ride down the street or something like that. I promise you that if you help them expel some energy and actually spend some quality time, when it's time for you to start working again, they will be ready to sit down and do some other fun tasks, okay? So now the tasks that are next are, what else do you really need to get done, right? And we're gonna pull out the guns again to get back to work, right? Almost like before, but slightly with a twist, right? So think of, it's not the most important thing, but you know you still have some work to get done. Now for older kids, this is a time that they will start working on classes that they will have help with, right? But you want to tell them, okay, for right now, don't disturb me. I'm going to give you an hour or so. And I want you to either circle a question that you have problems with, or, you know, use a pencil, circle the problem. Write down maybe what you don't understand. If it's like science or something like that, write down what you have, where you're stuck, why you're stuck, because while you're in the moment, you'll remember. But if you come back later and they didn't write it down, they're totally going to forget. So give them a notepad that is just for them to give directions to you on what they need help with, okay? Because I have found that works the quickest and the best, right? So let them work on 2 or 3 subjects where they're going to need help, and they're going to write down things that they need help with, okay? Now, younger kids, get them something that they can be a little bit messy with, you know, like maybe some Play-Doh or some kind of coloring or something like that, where you don't have to hover over them, and you know that it's okay for them to be in that room, but you know, it's going to be fine. They're not. And if you think they color on the walls, then maybe get those things that it only colors on that certain pad, you know, and only let them get it out during this time. Okay, so think of those things. Legos, okay, no Legos at night or any other time. Just whatever it is that they like during this hour. Even their dollhouse, I suggest put it away and only put it out during this time. And that's some tricks that I had to figure out and say, okay, I'm not even putting this in your room. We're putting this, you know, away, and I bring it out during the time that I need to be productive. Okay, so really, I'm used to, you know, it's just funny, but these are the tricks that work so that we can actually work, and the younger kids aren't really put off that you're not spending time and mom this and that, you know. And then the older kids, they're going to be getting that work done that, you know, they might struggle with, but you're just giving them an hour or so. Okay. All right, then the next part, okay, it's time for a check-in, all right? You get another break from your work, and I put not really, because when do you get a break, right? You're still going back to help your kids. So it's a break from your work, but now you're going to work on those kids, okay? So for the older kids, this is where you go through that notepad, and anything that they wrote down that they need assistance with and they don't understand, that's when you're gonna, you know, hop in there and say, okay, I'm going to help with this. This is how you do that. And you might give them, okay, this is how you do this, and I will come back again, right? You're going to help them with a few different subjects, a few different things. You might show them how to do a math problem, right? And then you're going to say, okay, now you show me. I worked it on you. You show me how you do it. Okay, see if you can finish some more problems. And if you find something else again, write it down in our notebook that's just for me and you, and I'll come back again and I'll help you work on it. But let's see how much you can get done, okay? For older kids, this is a time to study as well, okay? So if they run out of what they need help with, tell them to go back to something that, you know, that they can study or that they can finish on their own. If they absolutely cannot go, tell them, okay, I'm going to give you some free TV time or something like that. It's okay until I come back to work on it, okay? And if some people have videos right now that they have to watch for school and projects that they have to work on, okay? So if they have a project that they can start working on and they finish the problems that are difficult, let them go work on that project, and then you'll be checking in on it, okay? And then if they have the videos, this will be a good time, if you have more than one laptop, that they can go and work on that, okay? And so little kids, right? Break out those things that you're gonna let them do and let them have the time to be doing that. And this is gonna give you the time to accomplish not the most important things, but a lot of the things that you still know you have to get done and not feel like you're falling behind every day, okay? I know how that feels. And I had projects that were due and I was like, okay, either I'm not gonna keep this client or have to get this work done. So I've realized how to, you know, put this work at this time, okay? So after you do this time, right, we're gonna check up and then we're gonna go back to work and do the things that finish up our day. Now, when I'm talking about finishing up your day, okay, you might have done another break where you do what you just did again. And like you could, you know, let them have a break or whatever. But do that, you might do that 2 or 3 times. And then finishing the day is when you really don't have much, but like emails, short calls, something that if you are interrupted, it's not hard to fall right back in place, okay? Because you got the big stuff done earlier. So this is the stuff where if they are, you know, if they do call you, it's not a big deal. Maybe on a phone call, you could say, hold on, but you know, short phone calls and then emails that you can step away, do that, come back. And this is really how you will get a lot of tasks done, okay? Things that you can knock out quickly, save it for the end of the day when you can be disturbed and they might be pulling at you a little bit, but you've gotten the big stuff done, okay? Big kids, fix the things that you came up together and the projects that they can wrap up and study time. And then the little ones, again, like the short activities that they can do, or if it's okay for them to be in a, you know, in the backyard on a swing set or a short TV show that they like, right? Don't let them hop on the TV show earlier, save it for this time. And that's the things that I would do. You know, a show is 30 minutes. So you could do a show or two and you can get this stuff done, right? But you're saving it for this time, right? And then after you're done with all this, you all can celebrate that you got through each day. But I promise you, if you start scheduling it that way, you'll see that you are productive and your kids are productive. And it does take a little bit of adjustment. So let me just say this. I've talked to a few friends with the subjects and give them the power to say, this isn't working for me. Okay, maybe math is not, like, there's times where you can concentrate better and there's times where you struggle. So like in the morning, maybe they're sleeping in. Maybe teens just need that sleep. And then when they wake up, they might think that this is the best time to do this subject. And after a few days, they might go, you know what? I need to do math after lunch and I need to do something boring in the morning or something, you know? Just let them adjust it and work with them and tell them, like, I'm figuring out what work to do in the morning and what work to do in the afternoon, and you can do it too, right? And then you might see after a couple days, oh wow, I didn't know that this coloring book thing or whatever you came up with the little ones was going to be that powerful. Let me put that in the beginning of the day and let me move something else to the afternoon. So you will kind of play with it, but after about 2 weeks, you kind of can get it really down, okay, and you'll be productive. So just on that, do you have any tips or anything that I didn't think of that you think of with scheduling or questions?
Oh, I thought that was awesome, Stacy. And I know I talked to somebody here a while back and I said, working from home, like I've been doing the last few years, I have my little routine and so I've been trying really hard to stay in it. But if you haven't had that routine, you don't get anything done. And so even though I'm not a favorite, person that likes that much routine, it is much better to do that. So I think really that time blocking idea is really awesome. And
Yeah.
it does depend on the kid's age for sure.
Yeah, and I mean, it even in that age bracket, you might have two teenagers in high school, but one teenager might have to do something totally different. The other, maybe they want to go run or something, things that are going to help them to get focused. You just have to let them kind of adjust that. And then little kids, you might see them struggle too. Maybe they struggle with what you thought would be a good time. And if you're not quite sure why, you might want to move that subject to like later in the afternoon. Um, and for them, they're used to being in school, and honestly, sometimes they don't even realize, but when they go back to school, they're like, oh, this subject is not good for me in the morning. But play around with it. And I've seen a lot of parents have success, but like you said, working at home sounds wonderful, but on the other hand, you're always at home and you always can work. So you have to define boundaries for you. You have to learn how to, when is your most productive time, and you have to be flexible, but then you have to also know just turn it off, and stop for some times and give yourself family time. Because I think when we work from home, we almost take away our permission to have a break.
I agree with that, Stacy. And I found that here because we're empty nesters, but our daughter moved home from college. And so I tend to do a lot of my best thinking more in the evening, and I need to be more active and in the morning. And so when my family comes home or ready to settle in, that's when my juices are flowing to do stuff. And so we're always flipped. And so I did institute a movie night here a few nights this week. And I'm not a movie fan, but I found some movies that I liked. I was a little selfish, but that I knew they would like too. And so we did movie night. And so that was our compromise there. Cause I'm the same way. I'm like, I don't have anybody to really answer to. So I just keep working.
Right. And I'm kind of getting in that phase too. And then I'm like, well, we're not even really spending time, and because sometimes at night, sometimes I work so much through the day that at night I'm like, I can barely function. I just need to veg out. But then other nights, if I'm creating a class or something, my mind will just hone in. And next thing you know, I'm like, it's 2 o'clock. Holy moly, and I have to go to bed. So we need to figure that out too. And then if you have little ones, you're like, oh no, I have to get up. I don't know how I stayed up. So really making sure that you define some boundaries so that you stay healthy. I had to figure that out for a while because it is easy when you have kids and they go to bed to be like, I can really work now. And I used to always do that. I'd be like, okay, family time and dinner, and now they're all gone. Okay, let's sit here and work it out. But then sometimes in the morning I was like, well, that wasn't too smart. So I just say play around with it and realize that I know everyone is doing this right now, is trying to struggle and figure out the best time. But even before this came along, there were people that worked at home and had to go through the same adjustment. So don't beat yourself up. And I promise you, if you do the schedule and blocks your time, you will be able to move things more easily and see what works. Whereas if you're just doing it haphazard, you can't really track your success and what the problem is and why you're not getting stuff done. So it's easier to just move the little blocks around. And like I've done it with sticky notes. Okay, if you don't know how to time block, I've had like a board and just was like sticky notes of like math and this and like what I had to do and that, and then was like, nope, move it around, move it around. And then I've also done like a spreadsheet and just color coded like what kid and then what task and how important it was. And I've kind of stuck with that since, but you can just cut and paste or you can move it. So whatever is going to work best for you, just do that and be compatible for yourself, you know. Okay, so the next portion, let's go here, brain power. Okay, so I want to talk about, you know, there's several areas that we need to think about when we're taking care of ourselves to get through this. So nutritional support, I know that sounds kind of like, what does that have to do with working and everything? But it is a lack that most people have, and they don't always contribute, not being able to focus or stress or any of that, to nutritional support. So I'm going to talk about that briefly, and then focusing and like, you know, your mind, and then rest and stress and like emotions. Okay, so those are kind of the three areas now. All right. So nutrition, right? This is the, sorry, I have to keep moving this around. This is the basis to our body, right? And our body and our brain healing and functioning at optimal performance, we can't get that from just eating. There's nutritional deficiencies and gaps in our diet, and this is what fills in those gaps. Honestly, I have dietitians that work with me. I have people that are, you know, in the healthcare field, and they're like, yes, you definitely have to take vitamins, all right? And most studies will show you, when my daughter first experienced some anxiety, and when she said, I think I have ADD. And the doctor told her, well, first of all, sometimes just being stressed can cause you not to remember things, and not even to be able to learn as you're studying and stuff like that. It can really interrupt that learning pattern. So the other thing he said was, when you're having trouble with concentration and stuff, it's almost always that I can see that there's a nutritional deficiency where you need extra omega because your brain needs the omega. And then also vitamin D, vitamin B, and then maybe some minerals and stuff like that too, like magnesium, and there's some other gaps that are there. But he went ahead and was like, here, you need to take vitamin D. You're like low on vitamin D, and that helps your brain function. Omega, it needs the oils and stuff to function, right? So this one over here, the Lifelong Vitality Pack, it's for teens and adults, right? You can start it at 12 and up. And if they can swallow a pill, that's great. I can tell you my daughter does not like swallowing pills. So we actually opened these two and put them in a smoothie, or even just a spoon, like a small thing of juice or whatever, and let her take it that way. And then the omega, it is animal and plant omega, okay? The next one, the VMZ, stands for vitamins, microplex. It's made from foods, okay? So that's the best kind of vitamins you can get when it's a food nutrient based, not chemically compounded or anything like that. And then the alpha CRS is like a cellular repair. It's like a complex that helps with the cell functioning. And so it's really great for a lot of these issues, okay? Now, these three alone, I will just say, I've spent a lot of time last year dedicating time to people living in retirement facilities and stuff like that. And then also just every age. But I've seen more people have get off their medication, have less pain and inflammation, better mood management, and more energy and better sleep just from the vitamins. So that really set in deeper in my mind that, wow, having a nutritional deficiency really plays a role in how we function, right? Just health wise and, you know, your mental power and stuff like that. And then this one is the kids' vitamins. It's a chewable vitamin. And then this is the omega. Now, I know you can probably tell it's a liquid, and that kind of makes people hesitate, but I will tell you, my college student, he was like, I hope you order some more of this because I'm taking it home with me. He was like, this is it in its purest form. That's what I want. And it does have a different consistency. It's not like water, but it has a wild orange in it, so it doesn't taste fishy. It kind of tastes the orange, but it's so faint, right? So kids don't have a problem taking it. And honestly, you could always say you get a treat after you take this, you know. And some people have used the probiotic, which I was going to put on here, but the kids probiotic is like a pixie stick. So they say like after you take your vitamin, you can have the pixie stick, and it's a healthy choice right there, right? So and like the probiotic is important too. Okay, it does play a role with your brain function. So I'm just going to mention that. All right, so that's the nutritional side, right? Now, the other part I'm going to talk about, obviously, most people know that we talk about essential oils, so that's where we're going to dive in here. Okay, so I'm just going to tell you 3 cool things really quick, and that's simple. One, essential oils are safe. There is no side effects. They are safe for all ages. You don't have any addiction problems that you have to worry about. And they are just strictly taken from plants, and they're 70 times more powerful than herbs. So many people are familiar with herbal remedies and stuff like that. One drop, it's just way more potent. It's 70 times more powerful. So, I stick with doTERRA. doTERRA is a leader in the essential oil industry. Other companies have come and declared that it's the most tested and trusted in the medical community. Okay. So with doTERRA, they have a thing, their label is certified pure therapeutic grade quality, which means it's like a medicinal grade, a therapeutic grade. Not all oils are therapeutic grade. Okay, so the initials for that are CTPG, and you'll see that on every single bottle. So that's the difference there, and that's why I stick with doTERRA. Before I even got involved with them, I started researching myself because there was several oil companies. And then when I started looking at that and seeing all the tests they did, knowing that those tests are still used in labs and medicine, I was like, okay. But they test theirs more than other companies do, like 50 something ways. So the next thing is it's effective. All right. It works more effectively for our body than typical approaches that you do with medicine and over the counter stuff. All right. And I'll just explain with our body, the oils work on a cellular level. So herbal remedies don't interact with the cell, and medicine doesn't really interact with your cell either. Okay, so when you go to the doctor, typically you go for 2 reasons. If you have a bacterial infection and a viral infection, right? A bacterial infection, if you have a cell, right? I'm just going to make this little circle. A bacterial infection resides outside the cell, and a viral infection is inside of the cell. Okay, and then this is a cell membrane, and it's made to try to keep the bad stuff out and the good stuff in, and it's an oily kind of membrane, right? Now, when you go to the doctor and they give you an antibiotic for a bacterial infection, it goes up and it cleans the environment around the cell, okay? And it's water-based, so it doesn't interact with the cell, but the bacteria is on the outside anyway. When you have a viral infection, the doctor doesn't prescribe something, and the reason why is the medicine is water-based and the virus is inside of that cell. So when we use oils, it is an oily base, and so it can penetrate that membrane, and it goes and works inside the cell. And it doesn't allow that virus to duplicate. It goes ahead and heals it quickly, and so you're often better in a day or 2. So that's how it's really more effective and works quicker, right? And the last thing is that it's cheaper. It's literally, we save money every time we use it. It's pennies per dose. And the bottles can last 9 months to a little bit over a year, just depending on what you're using and how often you use it. But just as an example, we had lavender. We used it every single day. We had I have 3 kids, so 4 bedrooms. We used it to go to sleep. We also used it for, we had allergies after we moved here. So it was one of the oils that we used for allergies every day. And then me and my daughter were using it for anxiety. And that bottle literally lasted me a year. So just saying, that's just an example. The other thing was I went and bought allergy medicine at first before I found the oils. And it was like about 20 bucks, 18 to 20 for a box, and I bought a box for each of us, right? So that was like a lot of money. If you just say 20, that's $80 for 4 of us. And a few days later, we would be out and I'd have to go buy it again. Well, then we did this lavender, lemon, and peppermint, and I had a bottle that lasted a year, and we only did 2 drops of each in a capsule, and it knocked it out, right? And it was fabulous. Like, I spent less than $60 on 3 bottles that lasted me a year. So just the math alone, I was like, yep, can do that. And, you know, my doctor would even send us home when I went there with my daughter and would say, she has a gut issue and I don't want to give her something to disturb that. Don't you have this oil at home that helps with the digestive tract? Go home and do that. And so I was like, you're just sending me home? She's like, yeah, because you've got something that helps her. So, but before that, I would schedule an appointment and then often have to cancel it because she would be better. So like, example, an ear infection, we put 2 drops of melaleuca and lavender behind the ear and then in front of the ear, never inside. That costs less than 60 cents. And it was gone in 12 hours, an ear infection. So literally it was saving pennies. We kind of figured that we couldn't afford not to use the oils because they were saving us money. And doTERRA actually did a study with their employees and saw how much they were spending before. And then they opened up a health clinic where the doctors there were showing them how to use oils, and they saw how much, like thousands, like hundreds of thousands they saved for their company. So they were like, wow, we really are saving people money after they did it with their employees. They could tell, right? So kind of neat information, but those are the 3 things I wanted to point out. So now let's talk about this. First of all, I wanted to talk about adaptive, right? Because this is a stressful time. Adaptive, they just developed it after a couple years. They worked on this and they did research with it. And it is, as you can see over here, there's a roller, there's a pill, and then there's an oil that you can diffuse, right? Or you can put it in your hands and breathe it in. It is specifically made for stress and anxiety and mood management. And I mean, I was blown away, and everybody like applauded that they finally had something specifically, right? There's tons of oils that would help. We used it before we had this. We used Serenity and Wild Orange and Lime, and they all can help with emotions. But this was exactly for that. And there's so many that suffer. We were just like, okay, yay, finally. Now, that was last September. This month, they have still been working on things. And so they came up with this adaptive app. And you can have like a month subscription, you could have a yearly subscription, and you can download it for free, and you can use it for a few days, I think a week or so for free, just seeing how it works. And one cool thing is that the developer worked on voice recognition, and you really can't hide in your voice the inflections of what is stress. And so it has this, you know, algorithm that it runs it through, and it knows that, you know, it can detect stress. It has you just say an affirmation. It walks you through some guided meditation that actually helps with different things, and it asks you different questions so you can rate yourself of how you're feeling, and it'll do that voice thing and measure it. Then after you do the meditation, it'll have you repeat it, and it'll show you the changes. And that is like just pretty amazing to me. But there's some really cool things. There's a whole bunch of different areas that you can work on with that. I was going to stop real quick and explain just some ingredients about adaptive. And I was in the class yesterday, and Dana went into that. And so I asked her if she would just kind of repeat what she said. She talks about the ingredients and really explains about GABA and some other ingredients that are in there. So let me just let her do that real quick.
Okay. All right. Thanks, Stacy. So the adaptive capsules, the ingredients in there are really cool. I just love how they put this together. So it does have GABA in there, and GABA works in the brain. It's a neurotransmitter, and so it can help decrease anxious feelings. GABA research has been around for a long time. A lot of people use GABA as a supplement. So I like to tell people, if you're taking a supplement or on a medication that works with GABA in your brain, make sure that you check out all of your dosages and that kind of thing. It's a very low dose GABA, and most people don't find any interaction, but you need to figure that part out. The scledium root and the ahi flour. And ahi flour is very unique. Ahi flour is an omega-3 essential fatty acid. So it contains DHA, EPA, ALA, and GLA. And so when you think about our brain health, and we briefly talked about the XE omega and how that helps with our brain health, these have just a tiny bit of a tweak in what you get. And so it's very nourishing, and it's also a fish alternative. So people that are sensitive to fish products, they can take this and get that nutrition. Or if they're vegan, it's a great way to apply the omegas to your brain. And then it also contains lavender. doTERRA has many of their oils that are internal use because they're medical grade and they're pure. So it also has coriander, orange, and fennel. And one thing that I wanted to point out that I forgot last night, but when you think about oftentimes when you get anxious feelings, where do those settle? Your stomach. And so it was great that we have coriander, orange, and fennel because those are very calming to the stomach as well. And so that'll help settle that down. And the adaptive capsules work in our systemic pathways of our body, so neurological and biochemical. When you flip to the adaptive diffuser blend or the touch, those work through our limbic system. So we breathe in, and that goes through our hypothalamus and our amygdala, which calms our fight, flight, or freeze. And so they work a little bit differently. The adaptive touch and the diffusing oil are meant for kind of in the moment. So if you're feeling those anxious feelings, you can actually roll the roller on, or sometimes I just tip the bottle over if I don't have my roller with me and rub it on. And then the difference between the blend there, the adaptive oil and the adaptive touch oil, they have orange, lavender, so those are the same. And then they have copaiba, or otherwise said copaiba, and then spearmint, neroli, and sweet gum. So we all know a little bit about copaiba. It activates the endocannabinoid system, so very calming to the nervous system and good for pain relief. Spearmint is good for communication, so that it allows us to understand what's going on in our body. The neroli brings just feelings of calm. And then sweet gum, I did a little research on sweet gum. It's not an oil that we can purchase individually, but there's been some research on regulating blood pressure with sweet gum. So if you're struggling with keeping a normal blood pressure with your life activities, this might support maybe a more level blood pressure. So just some ideas to try out. Oops, are you muted? Well, I think you're muted, Stacy. There
Sorry,
you go.
I accidentally hit that. Thanks for doing that, Debbie, because Dana, because I really liked how you explained how they work with our brain, like the limbic system and all that. And so people don't always even think about all the ways that it's really affecting our body. So it lets us know that stress, whether we feel it physically or in our brain, the emotional support and the physical support will be there. And I think that's why most people have had such good results with this. I've had so many people that were like, wow, this is better than any medicine I've taken for this yet. And so it's just been a game changer for a lot of people. But knowing how it works really answers questions for people. So thanks for doing that.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Alrighty, so let's hop into some other oils. And oops, I clicked the wrong thing. Okay, so all right, emotional support, right? There is an emotional aromatherapy system that doTERRA has. It's 6 different oils, and they cover a wide range of emotions and well-being. So I just wanted to put that out there real quick. There is motivate, there's cheer, there's peace, there's forgive, there's console, and there's passion. And they kind of work with different things. Like you wouldn't think it, but forgive right now, not only because you might get frustrated or something like that, but it's called the renewing blend. Okay, and this is a change that we're going through. So we're kind of renewing like the way that they do school, the way that we do work. It is a good oil to use right now. But then, you know, peace, cheer, those kind of things, motivate. A lot of people are like, oh, I can use motivate. Oh, hold on a minute. Let me try this again. Can you see it now? Okay. All right. She gave me the thumbs up. She said she couldn't see the screen. So yeah, if you can see, I'm like showing you know, different emotions, different things that kids can go through, but that we go through too. All right. And I have had people just simply tell me, like, this collection right here literally just saved my life. Because from one moment I was dealing with one kind of emotion, a little bit later I needed a different kind of support. So I kind of didn't want to leave this out right now, because you can go through a wide range of things during this time. So I just wanted to put that out there. It comes in a neat little box, and we diffuse them all the time. And I mean, my son even busted out motivate and forgive. And he also did console and motivate. He combined those together when he was like frustrated trying to find a job. This was a while back, but and he was like down on himself. And then he goes, you know, that really just made me feel better and made me feel like I could get out there and do it. So it really does empower you in a way that you don't always expect. But all right, so here's some tips going right to like the school stuff, right? Grumpy mornings. I don't know how many start off on the right foot, but cheer. Okay, our family lives on cheer. Not so much anymore. They kind of got older, but we do bust it out when we need it. It's great to start kids in the morning, maybe even before they wake up. Start diffusing it. Motivate is good. Wild orange is good. Cheer. Balance is just like grounding you, calming you, just getting that stress away and everything like that. Elevation, that would be another good one. So yeah, there's different things that you could do. The other thing, frankincense, if you have it, rub it on your feet every single morning. Okay, it really just helps ground you and get you the support that you need going on through the day. The same with balance. The balance, Dr. Hill, he's one of the owners and he teaches a lot on the science. And he said he also started with balance on the bottom of his feet because it's for stress and you don't know what stress you're going to encounter during the day. So he said if he just starts with that, his body's prepped and ready. And for children that have a hard time waking up, you know, peppermint, it makes you happy and it gives you a little boost of energy and it smells refreshing. And you can make a roller bottle of whatever they like. You know, you can, like I said, my son combined motivate and console. You know, whatever they like. You'll be surprised how different ones smell together, and it'll smell like better than a candle. And you're like, I can't get enough of it. It smells great. So here's some recipes, okay? Chill Baby Chill blend. It's just 1 drop of cinnamon. It really does help emotionally. 2 drops of bergamot, 2 drops of grapefruit, 2 drops of lemon, and 3 of wild orange. It'll just help you chillax. Happy Kiddo, 3 drops of lavender, which is calming. 4 drops of wild orange. It can be calming too and uplifting. And 3 drops of ylang ylang, another one that's calming. And then stay positive. Okay, I don't know. We might all need that one. It's got the cinnamon, 1 drop of cinnamon and clove and ginger, and then 3 drops of lemon, 4 drops of wild orange. Citrus oils are very uplifting. Okay, and then the cinnamon and clove, they're really, and ginger is calming for your digestive stuff and all that too. But it really are soothing oils. So for positivity, those right there are really like top oils for that. Okay, now I just wanted to also show that there is a kids clip. It actually comes in this little cute bag, and it has these little cards in it, and each card will tell you, or I have people that have sent it to school, like daycares with their kids, and if the person forgets what to use it for, it says on that little card how to use it and what they use it for. Okay, but the 2 that I wanted to point out, this kit, there's some in there that are for physical health. So one is like boost your immunity. One is for like tummy issues. It's called Tamer. So you can rub it on your tummy for digestive or that kind of stuff. One is for like pains, right? So there's some physical ones. There's some for mental support, like Thinker. And then there's some for emotional support. So we're focusing on the emotional support. So steady and brave, right? Steady, I love the description of this, okay? So it does help kids. And hey, listen, I have used the kids ones too. So if you like the description here, it's not just for kids. Adults are fine to use it. But it helps with feelings of stress while reducing occasional anxiousness and allowing your mood to find balance, reassuring the emotions. Like, oh, I definitely need that. And then brave, it's called the courage blend, right? But it helps reset when you're experiencing some doubt and some stress. And sometimes kids can doubt themselves in this time right now because they're not like in their school environment, which makes them sometimes think like, I'm just not getting this done. So those teens or the kids or yourself, it'll help you. It'll invigorate you and empower you when you're feeling unmotivated. And then before tackling life's big or small moments, right, when you got this project or something, it'll help instill thoughts of courage and positivity with the reassurance that you can accomplish anything. So who's ready for brave or steady? I'm like, yes, let me bust those out again. And I have them right over here. So yeah, I just wanted to show you that. Now let's go ahead and transition from emotions to brain thinking, memory, focus, concentration, that kind of stuff, right? Who doesn't need some support with this? Even if you don't have ADD, right? Sometimes you just you're like, I need a little bit of boost in that area, especially when you're stressed and stuff, right? So there are several things that are proven to really boost your brain abilities here. Okay, so here's some diffuser blends. Again, just have fun with it. Homework helper, okay? In a diffuser, you don't even have to like bother them, but when they're working on their work, right? 2 drops of frankincense, great for the brain and cell support. 2 drops of peppermint and 2 drops of rosemary, 2 drops of wild orange. Those 3 oils are really studied for thinking and concentrating and working on the brain power, right? Peppermint and rosemary and peppermint and wild orange, there have been tests that have been done where kids took a test and then they diffused those oils and had them do the rest of the test or redo the test the next day, and the scores went up 85% just from diffusing this. So it really helped with recalling. Peppermint helps you recall areas of memory. And you know what I didn't think of? I can show you this. Okay. I did a whole class for the elderly, and it was like memory and things like that. And I went through each oil and what it does. So I will post that after I'm recording. Oh, I didn't record it? No, it's recording, right? Okay. Oops, I went the wrong way. Okay. So after I record this, I will post it, and then I will go ahead and put the sheet that goes through all these oils, and that way you might want to pick out which ones you want more than others after you see that. But that is a great homework helper, and I know lots of people that have remade it and just like their kid just took it out and didn't even ask. They were like, I just need that blend, and would use it. Nerve buster blend. This can happen when you're stressed and you're trying to get work done. So 2 drops of balance for stress, 2 drops of bergamot, and 2 drops of wild orange. Those 2 together help that area of the brain with frustrations and nerves and that kind of thing. And then morning pep. So 2 drops of elevation, 2 drops of lemon, and 2 drops of wild orange. So any of these are just great to diffuse, and you can tell like kids will just relax, people will get happy, like the morning pep thing, they're ready to do stuff. It's just funny to see, or the nerve thing when people are frazzled. I've done that. And then you kind of see them kind of settle down, So, all right, so this is a brain blend, and not all of these, I didn't put all this together. The last 2 slides came from another friend that's a leader in doTERRA. This one came from another friend of mine, Jamie. So in a roller, and you can get these on Amazon. They're called 10 mil rollers. You can just Google it, they'll come up. They usually come in this amber color, but you can get them clear or you can get them in fun colors. I have like a rainbow of colors behind me. But what you do is you open it up, and then you put whatever the recipe says for drops, and then you just take the rest and you fill it up with fractionated coconut oil right before the cap starts. Okay, you don't really need to go up there when you push the top in, the roller part. Sometimes it'll spill out if you go too far. So I just say right to the little lip part. But 10 drops of cilantro, which helps break up toxins that build up in our brain, like the heavy metals, sometimes from medication or artificial additives and environment and stuff like that. And it helps clean the brain and then calms the anxious feelings, okay? 10 drops of copaiba. Copaiba is a cannabinoid oil, and it supports the healthy brain function, and then it also helps with the rest of your body, like cardiovascular, the nervous system, the immune system, and so much more. And then 7 drops of rosemary, and this helps with mental fatigue, right? Because sometimes just working long or being stressed will just cause you to be mentally tired, where you can't focus and you can't function. So it helps with the detoxification. And then emotionally, rosemary is the oil of transition. So it assists when people have some learning difficulties or challenges or limited perspective, and it helps promote like the mental clarity and enlightenment. So you just roll this on the bottom of your big toe, which is the receptor, the reflex point for your brain, okay? You could also rub it on your neck right here, close to the top of the base of your head where the brainstem would be, and it will help get in and, you know, start helping circulate around your brain. So now for mental clarity and focus, right? We talked about balance, and combining balance with these 2 oils in Tune or Thinker really helps a lot, okay? Now, see, you can see right here, improving test scores with wild orange and peppermint when taking a test, and that homework. You can also just diffuse some of those oils that I mentioned, wild orange or peppermint, lemon, spearmint, citrus bliss, motivate. You don't have to do all of them. If a kid just gravitates to one, then just do that one. It'll be enough, really. We usually say if you smell something and it's just like they're craving it, they're like, oh, I love that, I love that. It's usually because their body's telling them that they need it. Your smell can just really dictate and tune in to what your body is trying to tell you that it needs. So just go with that, okay? All right, now let's transition to sleep, okay? So not only getting a full night's sleep, or not, you know, some people have trouble falling asleep, but staying asleep, and a good quality sleep is what we need, right? While we sleep, our body repairs in several areas. So it repairs physically. All of our organs heal at different hours. It also deals with emotions and stress and files that away. And it helps repair like the memory area. It sets memories in. If you're not having a lot of good sleep, 2 things can happen. You won't retain a lot that you're trying to remember. You know, some people have worse memories than others, and often they don't get quality sleep. But the other thing is, you know how after time, stress builds and builds and builds, and then you just like, oh, it's overwhelming, right? But if you're getting good quality sleep, you'll see the stress levels will reduce a lot. So we really try to focus on sleep. So Serenity right here, there is an oil, and I diffuse this every night. I switched from lavender to Serenity a few years ago, and I love it. And then sometimes I'll take the capsule. If I'm just having some trouble, you could take 1 or 2, and you don't have that groggy feeling in the morning. You don't feel like that, what do they call it, that hangover. I've never experienced that, but I know that my mom used to have to be on sleep medication before in the past. She tried 2 different medicines that the doctor prescribed, and she did not like the way she felt. But she tried this, and it's all natural. She didn't have that grogginess. She didn't even feel like she took anything, and that's how I feel. I just feel like I got the best sleep. And what I find it does is it helps you fall to that deeper level of sleep quicker. So if I know that I stayed up late working and I'm like, oh no, I have to get up at this hour, I'm only gonna get 5 hours of sleep, I can take this, and when I wake up, it's because I went to that deeper quality sleep quicker. I felt like I got 8 hours of sleep and I'm ready to go, and I don't get tired the next day. So it's just really an amazing oil to me. Now, Calmer is a restful blend for kids. So you can use either one, and the kids may love Serenity, they may love Calmer, it's slightly different. But either one, you know, is fine to do. You can roll it on the back of their neck, you can roll it by their temples, roll it on that big toe, you know, because it's going to help calm them. So I wanted to touch on that. Now here's some bedtime hacks. Okay, sometimes when life gets crazy, we don't think of these things, but you know, you can use them oils and stuff like that to repair at night. If you see that you have some issue going on, you can use immune boosting oils, or you can use some for an issue that you have, because while you're sleeping, it'll be helping that. Okay. Also, like if you have a cough, we will use Breathe, or airway respiratory thing. You can diffuse that, and I've even diffused that with lavender or Serenity and got a great sleep. Okay. But think about this, like bath time, it can help you to relax. Some people have trouble sleeping. My son used to he could never sleep, and it was kind of due to some medication he was on, but the doctor would tell us, turn off any kind of screen an hour before, because your mind, one thing is it's feeding your mind so fast, you don't even have to think. It's just in the games are just really flash and really fast for your brain, so it's wiring them up instead of letting them settle. So turn those off like an hour before, right? And then stretching actually helps too. Stretching calms your body down, and it releases some endorphins that help you settle. But then the bath time will really help. And Serenity Bath Bar has that oil in there. It's lovely smell. And I'll tell you this, my friend says her trick is to use the Serenity Bath Bar, and then she said, I like to bathe in it, but she'll put either Peace in the bathtub, or she'll rub Peace and Serenity on her pulse points, on the bottom of her feet, and she says she gets the best night's sleep. And the Peace is in that Emotions kit, but you can buy it alone. Any of those you can buy alone. You don't have to buy the whole kit either. But you can use lotion, and you can put some of those oils that you would like to calm down, like lavender or Serenity or frankincense, after a bath. It'll just start working even more on you. Keep a bottle of water by your diffuser. So if you're tired, you don't have to leave, you can just fill it up. Let the kids choose what they like at bedtime, because sometimes what we think we like isn't really the one that appeals to them. And I've seen some kids like, some kids have had dreams and stuff like that, which reminded me that Dana shared yesterday that she took one of the Serenity pills, and she said she had all these weird dreams, right? And then she decided to take two, and like usually you would say, oh, it made me have a restless night of dreams, so I'm not going to take it. But when she took two, she said that didn't happen, and she really got a great night's sleep. So play with it a little bit, see what works for you. And sometimes you'll take the pill and you can diffuse it. That's okay. It's not going to hurt you. Okay. And then, the little kids, you can put the lavender, touch on their feet. You can put the Serenity, rub it on their spine, and, let them relax. So here's some other oils that just, and I'm sorry that got a little bit blurry when I blew it up, but students usually need over 8 hours of sleep. Okay. So don't beat up on your team when they do sleep late. And some of them college kids do, they sleep late, but it's like they're active when it's up, when it's their chatter time, and they get back spent, but then they need that rest. But establishing a good routine for them that works for them, and like I said, no electronics, and start that diffuser before they're actually in the bed. Okay, let them just chill in their room, or even if you start it in your living room, if you're reading a story or something, just start that before, because it'll really help calm them. And any of these oils are great for sleep. So Roman chamomile, Serenity, frankincense I mentioned, sandalwood, Breathe I mentioned, vetiver, lavender, balance, and cedarwood. You have a choice. You can play around with these, and you can combine them, and you can make your own like diffuser smell that you like. But they all work really great for sleep. So here's some little diffuser blends. Sweet Sleep, you can put, and I have used this one a lot, so 4 drops of lavender, 2 drops of chamomile, and 2 drops of cedarwood. And you'll see they have those oils I talked about. Sleep Like a Baby, 4 drops of Serenity, 1 drop of vetiver, 1 drop of frankincense. And Peaceful Sleep, 2 drops of cedarwood, 3 drops of lavender, 1 drop of vetiver. So that is the end of that. It is the end of the slideshow, but I wanted to just share with you some tools that I found. Okay, some people have been posting stuff lately, and so I wanted to share this with you. oh, let me move this down. So this is City Mom's blog, Miami City Mom's blog, but it was posted somewhere and they have all these things to do while you are social distancing. So I will also put this link down there, but they have activities to do and you can click on these and they bring up like different activities, different worksheets. I mean, there's books, there's movies, all kinds of cool things on here to do. Okay. They even have like homeschool resources. Look, they have like Dade County. You can search your county. They have fine motor skills in the homework drama for good. They have really good tools here. Okay. Working from home, like the clutter-free office, 7 tips for mom, time more manageable, all this other stuff, health and fitness ideas. I was just like, this is family food planning, easy things, 3 strawberry ice cream, it's just 3 ingredients. So it's just all these good things that are there. All right. So I'm going to put the link in this. Here's another one. Okay. This was on the Today Show. And I'm going to put this on here, but let me show you. Look, they had like a daily schedule. Like this is time blocking. This is what I was talking about. Okay, so it tells you like wake up time, morning walk, academic time, creative time, lunch, chore time. Yeah, you can throw some chores in there. Why not? Let kids do some stuff that can help you out. Quiet time, academic time, afternoon fresh air, dinner, and like something as a family, read scriptures, watch TV, whatever you want to do. But they have educational resources, like Scholastic Books has a whole bunch of things on there. And then they have, where is it? They have all these movie stars reading books on YouTube. And so it's just pretty cool, all the things that they put here. Here's the guy reading another book. It just has all these different things. So I'm gonna put that one. And I just wanted to show that because this was a little bit clearer, just so you could see like quiet time can be reading and puzzles. Chore time, it could just be straightening their books and putting their work back up that they already completed, and if they can do laundry, or whatever it is, and make it fun. Sometimes I used to do a timer with my kids and be like, okay, whatever you can get done in 15 minutes, whoever does, and just made it fun. And they liked it. They liked the challenge of getting something done. And then I would give like a treat. I'd be like, oh, you get an apple. Now you get, the rest of you get bananas, or whatever. I just be like, you want next time you get the different thing, and they're like, I want watermelon next time, or, whatever it is, just something to make it a little bit fun. But that's the end. Those are the ideas that I have. So I hope it's helpful. I hope you liked it. Is there any questions that you think of, or something I should
I had one suggestion too. If you have kids or adults that struggle with like nightmares, adding some juniper berry to your night blend is really good. And I don't know like what little kids are experiencing right now, like elementary age would be what I would think, but it could be adults too that are struggling with that solid sleep because their mind is running away.
Yeah.
The juniper berry really helps with that. Or you can put it on the bottom of your feet.
Mm-hmm.
And then on the emotional kit with the diffuser oils, they sell a kit that's in the touch rollers, and that's my favorite way to use those particular oils. I love them on me, so I use those quite often, and lately I've been using a lot of Console.
Yeah, and so this row right here, this row is only the emotional, well, I don't know if you can even tell that, but let me just show you, okay? So each of them, you could buy it as a kit with these, all of those 6, or you can buy it as a kit with the rollers and it's all the 6, or you could just buy them individually, just one at a time. So and this one, like we used to use cheer a lot, and we used to say, who used all the cheer and didn't tell me? Now we don't have any. And I used to just wear it as a perfume, and people would be like, what do you have on? You always smell so nice. So it is some of them, and then I did that with passion. They're just yummy. So yeah, and juniper berry, my daughter had night terrors, and juniper berry worked, and we did it internally, but even just diffusing it stopped the night terrors and all that. So that's a good thing to point out with that. And then I'll show, I pulled this up real quick. This is the other link that I'll put. I did a class, Focus and Mental Clarity. I talked about the vitamins. I talked about the Terrazyme, which is a digestive enzyme, and how it fortifies and boosts the brain, and PB Assist, the probiotic for your second brain. And then it tells you about each one. So rosemary, this is what I was saying, like you might want to read this and see how it increases the neurotransmitters and boosts memory, focus, and concentration. Talks about motivate. Basil, how it helps with mental fatigue, mental clarity. Frankincense, minimize distractions. Capitalize that. Wild orange and peppermint, that's where I said the test scores went up 85%. Spearmint or peppermint. Some people lean to one more than the other, and some people really love spearmint more than the other, so whatever they like, but it wakes up your brain, okay? And it helps you feel invigorated. Coriander, great for projects and something that you need to like work and get done. Melissa is great for memory recall. And then Intune and Thinker, staying on task, improving alertness, increase your ability for learning. Cilantro, I told you about with the toxin. Roman chamomile for inattention, and tames your emotions, because sometimes the emotions actually make the inattention, okay? Juniper berry is another one that we were just talking about, right? But it helps with brain fog, because some people it's just brain fog. That's like a whole different thing. And then balance. Now balance is also great when you have kids that have struggling with concentration and all that, because it's getting the left side of brain and the right side of brain to work together. And anytime you can do an exercise where you cross over from your right side to your left side, we used to do this thing, and you pull on each ear. I saw this when I was in pediatrics, and then later my friend Jade said she used it and she would teach it. And then you take your elbow and you go to your knee, right elbow to left knee, left elbow to right knee, and then you touch your toes on the opposite side, right? And then you take your arm and your foot, stand on one foot and cross it over. Anytime you do that, you're getting both sides of the brain to start functioning and working together and work better. And it starts activating some areas of the brain that might kind of be like, we used to call it ischemic freeze. I worked with brain injury, and it can wake up areas that they used to think were dead. So there you go. That's what you need to do, is just cross over. And every time you do that, it's helping both areas of your brain. So that is truly the end now, but I will put those links when I post this. And I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks, Dana, for the add-ins and going over the adaptive and all that. And if you guys have any questions and you're rewatching this, reach out to Dana or Debbie or Robin or Rita, whoever has invited you to watch this or tagged you. Go back to them and let them help you, because we just want to assist you during this time. And I thought that this would cover a bunch of all the little areas. So thanks again, and I hope you guys enjoyed it.
Stacey, that was awesome.
Okay, yay.
Amazing.